Houston, as a diverse and rapidly expanding city, confronts a range of challenges and possibilities. The mayoral election serves as an opportunity for candidates to articulate their vision in addressing these issues and elevating the overall quality of life for residents. This underscores the immense importance of the mayoral election campaign for Houston. The mayor plays a pivotal role in steering the city's policies and initiatives, directing, influencing critical areas such as public safety, education, infrastructure, and economic development. Elections outcome holds the potential to shape the city's reputation and appeal to businesses and investors. A proficient and impactful mayor can stimulate economic growth, generate employment opportunities, and bolster the city's competitiveness on both a national and global scale. I sat down for a conversation with MJ Khan, a conservative mayoral candidate for the city of Houston, and discussed, if elected, how he would serve and represent the city of Houston across diverse forums and interactions, with his vision and capacity, and how would he enhance civic pride and foster community engagement. And today in my studio, we have got MJ Khan with us. He has been working in the city of Houston with the City Council, and he has a very long portfolio among the American Pakistani community living within the city limits. Thank you so much, MJ, for joining me today. As we have discussed before the recording, that you have been here before at the time of Harvey, where you worked extensively at that point.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Thank you, NTV. Thank you for inviting me. This is a great opportunity for me, and I'm happy to be here.
Tell us about your campaign, MJ. Like, you are running for the mayor of the city of Houston, and obviously I keep remembering city of Sugar Land, but it's for city of Houston. So how's the campaign going, and what are the main points?
The campaign is doing great. And, the reason I started to run for this position, City of Houston has tremendous challenges right now. If you look at City of Houston, it is really going down, okay? Our crime rate is too high. Our infrastructure is bad. Little bit of rain and our streets flood all the time. Houston is not business friendly. If you try to build in Houston, the permitting department makes you crazy. But to me, these are all symptoms of a bigger problem. And what is that problem? Mismanagement of the city, a bloated and inefficient bureaucracy, and the influence of a special interest and pay-to-play contractors, which are holding us back. So that culture of corruption needs to be eliminated, needs to be changed. And because Houston is a great city, we have look at our diverse population, and we enjoy each other, we celebrate each other. Houston has, we speak over 175 languages.
Yeah.
We have culinary experience from all over the world. We have culture from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we enjoy our diversity.
But isn't this statement a very conservative statement, because you're running from the conservative seat in a city which is already blue, and with the state of Texas, which is red, and they're trying very hard to turn it red again, but it is blue. So these are the complaints which probably is coming from a conservative?
No, if you look at the statistics, okay, our crime rate is high.
Yes.
Now, if you compare pre-COVID crime rate compared to now, our crime rate is way high. Flooding is a problem. Anybody who deals with the permitting department will tell you it's a nightmare to deal with them. Our water problem. Now, these are facts. City is losing 30 billion gallons of water because of broken pipes. That's equivalent to about 20% of our water supply. That comes out to about $150 million. So we are $150 million worth of water, 20% of our supply is being wasted because city is not taking care of the infrastructure.
Why do you think the city is not doing that? Because according to the city statistics and all that, like, they claim that they have taken care of a lot of stuff. And crime rate is something which cannot be in control of anybody, because after COVID, a lot of situations have happened, and because of the poverty rate and all that, it just went up.
Yeah, but cities manage crime all the time, okay? And we will talk about specifically how will I solve some of these problems. So let's take crime. When I left city council, I served from 2004 to 2009. When I left city council, we had more number of police officers patrolling the street than today.
Okay.
It's 14 years after that. So that should tell you that city is not focused on crime, okay? Crime rate statistic is from FBI and everybody can check it. My solution to that is that right off the bat, I will add $100 million to budget of Houston Police Department and start recruiting additional 500 police officers. And I want those police officers to be from the neighborhoods, from the community. They need to know the community. They should live in the community. They should know the businesses. They should know the people. They should know the neighbor. That's how you solve the crime. Second thing which I will do, there are a lot of police officers who are doing desk jobs in the police department. I will have civilians take over those desk jobs and relieve those officers to patrol the streets. Number 3, officers' presence is a deterrent to crime. And officers should be visible in the streets in the neighborhood. Number 4, we need to take the blight out of the neighborhood. If the neighborhood looks run down, if there's illegal dumping all over, if the weeds are growing all over, broken windows all over, that attracts crime. And by the way, this model is right now being used in Dallas. Dallas is doing a great job in fighting crime. We can take lessons from Dallas and adapt them in Houston, and that's how you solve the crime.
Okay, my question would be like the ideas you're presenting over here, that's going to increase the budgets. So how are you going to cover that?
That's a very important point. First of all, none of my opponents have this kind of plan to address the crime situation. Now let's come to that. We do not have revenue problems. City of Houston is taking in $6.2 billion. Right now, when I left the city council, from 2009 to 2022, our inflation and population growth combined is about 42%, 43%. Our budget increased at about 93%. So we have an additional, just in general fund, close to $1 billion, $976 million, over and above inflation population growth. So problem is not the money. Now, how will I find the money? Because I am on record, and I will tell you, being on record right now, that I will not raise your taxes. I will work within our budget. So where will I find the money for additional police officer and all that, okay? Number 1, City of Houston has very inefficient bureaucracy. You go to any department, you can see that. Ask people who have dealt with any of the department, they will tell you that. So I'm a businessman. In business, what do? When we see inefficiencies, we implement management audits. So every department I will put through management audits. Personnel audit, process audit, performance audit, everybody has to go through that. And not just financial audit. City of Houston, a controller does financial audit, but financial audit takes care of the financial irregularities there, if there are any. But management audits bring out the inefficiencies of the system. So when I do that, all the inefficiencies we see, which is resulting in wastage of tremendous amount of money, will be captured. Okay. That's number 1. But we as businessmen, we always have options. We go to option B, option C. So somebody can challenge me, you will not find any money because of management.
Yeah, because that was my next question. Like so I'm sure the management audits must be happening right now.
Well, they are not. But let's suppose that we don't get it, okay? My option B is Metro collects our sales tax dollars also. And compared to like 2020 to 2022, they collected additional $200 million, which should be coming to the cities, whom they serve. So bulk of that will come to the city of Houston. So there's another $200 million which I've identified, which can come to our general fund and address some of these problems. Number 3, our tax increment reinvestment zone. They are not under revenue cap. City of Houston is under revenue cap. The TERS, which we are called, they are not under revenue cap. They are collecting additional $200 million which they are sitting on. I need to capture that money, bring them to general fund. So I have 1, 2, 3 options to find the money. So we will find the money, and believe me, when I go put every department in right size the government, right size city departments, we will take care of all the inefficiencies and we will capture a lot of money, and that can be used for police, that can be used to balance the budget, that can be used for a lot of other projects which city needs to do.
Because right now you pointed out City of Houston's metro project, and you said that they are sitting on X number of amount over there. So what do you think? Do you have what would you like to say about this? Where that money is going right now? And why it's mismanaged?
Well, it is being wasted. I give you an example. Anybody can go to Galleria, okay?
Okay.
There is a bus line, BRT line they are called.
Yes.
It goes from Richmond to 610, okay? Just a couple of miles, back and forth all day long. When Metro did that project, they promised the citizens of Houston that 15,000 people will ride that bus line every day. You know how many people are riding it every day?
Not much.
Less than 1,000, 944 to be exact.
So it's not lucrative enough. So why are they running it?
That's a $200 million project down the drain. Why did they do it? And who is held accountable? Nobody held accountable. On top of that, after wasting that $200 million to build that line, now they are spending $6-8 million just to run those buses. Why are we wasting this money? Metro should be flexible. We need public transportation.
Definitely. That's very important for people.
Right.
Yeah.
And city needs public transport. But Metro should use flexible plans, which means run the buses where the people can ride them. Buses are flexible. You run this route, and if this route is not what you thought it would be, you can take that bus and put it in another route. When you put BRT line, that's fixed line. You cannot change it. You have to run it forever or take out of it.
I mean, that makes sense. Like if it is not working and why it's been there. So let me talk about you have been associated with the city council. So what other discrepancies you think you have seen would you like to point out over here?
Well, another is the infrastructure problem.
Okay.
Right now, little bit of rain caused a lot of flooding. Okay.
But that infrastructure is in place for many years. I mean, how can we change it?
Right. Look, there's a life of infrastructure. These pipes, underground water pipes have certain life. The drainage line has certain life. The streets have certain life. We have 16,000 lane miles in the city of Houston. Engineers will tell you, we are required to resurface about 400 lane miles every year, assuming 40-year lifespan of a street. City is on doing less than 100. So we will never catch up. Now, how will I solve that problem? Okay. We have a dedicated drainage and street repair fund.
Okay.
That's a dedicated fund. So money has to go in that fund.
Okay. Yeah.
That fund is collecting $344 million right now. And operating expenses are about $110, $120 million. Okay. The revenues should be higher because city is supposed to put 11.8 cents of our property taxes there. They're putting less. And Metro is supposed to put 125 million. They're putting less. So if both these entities put what they promised taxpayer to do, it should be a lot higher.
Okay.
But let's say it is 344. Also, the operating expenses are way too high. They should be less. But taking care of that, city is spending $220 million right now to fix the streets and drainage problem. What I will do, because we will never catch up with that money, I will go to the taxpayer, ask them to give me permission to use that $220 million instead of repairs, use it as a payment, yearly payment for a new bond. And I will issue a new bond, which will, based on current interest rate, will yield about $2.5+ billion.
Okay. Yeah.
So that $2.5 billion, we will do a wholesale, change the pipes, drainage problem, fix the street, wholesale, and this problem will be solved. Then, after these bonds are paid, that this dedicated fund will be enough for us to do the repairs. Otherwise, we will never catch up. The problem of drainage is that Harris County Corps of Engineers have done a reasonable job cleaning up the bayous. Our problem is how to take the water from the streets to the bayous.
To the bayous, exactly.
Second,
drainage is basically the drainage issue.
Second plan I have is to take care of the flooding, is to put regional detention on city-owned lands.
Okay.
Okay. City of Houston is now even talking about private homeowners to have detention ponds in there. That's, to me, it's a very bad idea. First of all, it will raise the price of the home.
Exactly. And where is the area over there?
Second thing, it will be a health hazard. Kids are playing and you have a detention on your property. Third is that who will maintain it? Who will check whether it's maintained or not? City should not transfer public domain responsibilities to private sector like this. So I will have, city owns a lot of property. I will build regional detention in there. So water can be stored in those regional detention until it's ready to go to the, bios and all that. And then also we can put water treatment plants next to these detention area, because we have a looming water crisis coming up. Right now we are wasting 30 billion gallons of water, but even otherwise, City of Houston issued a report that in 30 years we will be shortage of water. So you need to plan now.
We need to plan.
You have to have long-term focus.
Yeah. Let me just take a very short break. We are in conversation with MJ Khan. He's running from the conservative seat for the City of Houston as a mayor. Stay tuned. We have got more questions coming up.
The Made to Move sales event at Big Star Cadillac is all about the savings. Enjoy 1.9% APR financing on all 2023 and 2024 Cadillac CT4 and CT5 sedans, and all 2023 and 2024 XT4, XT5, and XT6 crossovers. Lower your payment with 1.9% APR limited term financing at Houston's Cadillac to your door dealer, Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop at Big Star. Shop BigStarCadillac.com.
Hey. Okay.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat. Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back. Like I said, before going on a break, I'm in conversation with MJ Khan. He's running for the mayor of City of Houston. I should be calling you mayor right now because you're not a mayor, you're running for a campaign. Let me ask you this question. When we are talking about the crime rate over here. Yes, crime rate has increased, domestic violence has increased. I'm not sure it is linked with the city, but it is overall. If I really look at it in Houston and greater Houston areas, it's all over there. When we call the police, the HPD, they do not show up. They take long time to show up. This is a common complaint. Why do you think so it happened, and what is the solution for that?
It's very true. Our category 1 call, where the felony crime is in progress, our response time should be 3 minutes.
Yes.
We are going above 8 minutes for that response time. And other ones, just forget about it. Police will never show up.
50 minutes, 45
No, hours and hours and days, they will never show. And that's also adding to people not even reporting the crimes. So your crime statistics is kind of out of whack, because a lot of people are saying, who the hell will show up? So let's not forget about it. Let's move on, not report it. And the problem is the same thing what I told earlier. There is a police department is in disarray. First of all, we have less number of officers that we should have.
They always claim, Forfiner always claims that there is a shortage of officers.
Secondly, the morale is down, because we have this culture of blaming the police officers for the problem here. We have a fine police department. We have police officers who are working there. They're well trained. They're dedicated people. And then on top of that, even when they catch the criminals, they put them in jail. Next thing you know, those judges are letting them out. So that, reduce the, morale of the police department also. Solution is what I told you earlier. We have to have more police officers. We have to release officers from the desk job, and we have to focus. I will have a police chief who is tough on crime, but also believe in community policing. Part of the community policing is the response time should be.
I think Troy is doing a fine job with that. He's always involved with the community.
Well, having involved, then maybe he doesn't have the support from the city hall to give him the resources. Police department need personnel, police department need technology, police department need, all the other resources also, not just lip service.
I mean, this is one part of the problem, which you're saying, like, if you put civilians over there and move more officers towards there, why do you think right now, Mayor Turner is in power and whomever will be in power, they are sitting there for many years and something has not been done about that? And this is a very obvious idea.
Well, I mean, you have to ask them why, but let me tell you what some of the...
I just need your opinion.
Some of the other things that they did. It is basic finance 101. You meet your expenses with your revenue stream, which is on a regular basis, right?
I agree.
If there is a windfall, you use that for either investment or reduce your debt. We got a lot of money from federal government, after COVID. It's called ARPA money, American Rescue Plan Fund. Okay. What City of Houston did, instead of using that money, because it's a windfall, it is there now and it will be gone tomorrow. The federal government is not going to give that money every year. It's gone. It's one time. City of Houston should have invested that money in technology and resources and all that for long term. What they did, they used that money to give employee raises. Now, even after the money is gone, that raises are in place. And every year we have to come up with that money because there's raises.
There was a big issue, and there was a big issue with the fire department as well, and they needed the raise and they wanted the raise. And there is nothing wrong with the inflation in place. I think giving raise is not wrong.
Well, but you cannot give raise when you don't have the money. That's the problem. That this money is a one-time, shot from the federal government. You should have used that for some.
That helps to boost the confidence of the police officers as well.
Well, police officer and fire department, they are under contract.
Yeah.
Okay. Fire department contract is a mess, as you may have heard from the news report. For last, so many years, city has not negotiated them, and they're now in litigation. The court has authorized or ordered for them to go into arbitration to solve the problem. Mayor Turner, instead of going to arbitration, he is taking them again to the court. Basically, he's just kicking the can down the road. Let his term be over. Let the new mayor deal with it.
I think he did a good job while he was the mayor, because as a citizen, I look back and I see a lot of diversity. Let me just also ask you about HISD. HISD has been taken over by T, but there are a lot of complaints against T as well, and parents are really not happy about it. If you would be in power, what are you going to...
Well, first of all, HISD is a separate entity.
I know.
It is not... But let me tell you what I think is happening. Regardless of the politics of it, I think it is an embarrassment, because now all over the country, people say, look at Houston, they cannot take care of their schools and the state has to come and take over.
This is the normal reaction, because when we look at the other cities, like City of Sugar Land and Fort Bend County, so we see like...
No, even the rest of the country is laughing at us, that we cannot take care of our problem. So this is what I would do. I would work with the school board, our, HISD board. I will work with the state and say, look, guys, whatever the problem is, let's address the problem. Let's, as quickly as possible, bring the school back under HISD domain, because that's what we have to do. It can be a temporary, short-term thing, but let's try to move as fast as we can to bring it back to where it was. Now, look, any city, any great city, has certain characteristics for people to come and live, businesses to come and live. Public safety, streets who are functioning, traffic is moving, but also a school system. Families move to a city where they feel the school system, public school system is great, and they can have their kids go into that school.
I agree.
So we cannot just take care of few things and not take care of everything.
As a voter, it's the most important thing for families.
So it has to be a comprehensive solution, and school HISD has to be part of that solution. If we want to make city the envy of the world and envy of the rest of the country, we have to have a excellent school system. And that's what
I think City of Houston's response during Harvey was excellent. We see it every year in Louisiana and other states, like when they have all these kind of catastrophic situations. City of Houston behaved very good. It was the talk of the town in the United States. And then when coming about the diversity of the town, I mean, Houston itself, and then I was interviewing the other day the chairman of the homeless shelters and all that. Even that response is amazing. I mean, we have been done as a case study in San Francisco as well, because they cannot handle it.
Right.
I mean, it's not that bad.
Well, it is not that bad in certain areas. Yes, people can argue.
At least you agree here.
Well, I mean, look, we are Houstonians, right? We have a culture of taking care of our challenges heads on. And remember, I hope you remember Katrina.
Yes.
Katrina was a big storm, came in New Orleans, and we invited
all those people and rehabilitated them over here.
250,000 people. I was in the city council then.
Yes.
When we had the power failure during our Ike and last freeze. Okay?
Yes, last freeze. You can forget that.
We don't go and our people don't go and start looting their stores. We have a different culture here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We take care of our challenges. So yes, the response to Harvey was great by the citizens of Houston. But city of Houston failed. Why? Give you an example. We did not get a single penny of Harvey money for flood control from this federal government through state of Texas. Why? Because city has a toxic relationship with the state right now. So,
but then what? Whose fault is it?
What?
I mean, it's a state fault. Maybe they're not interested in city of Houston.
The point of that is that when you are in a position, you cannot point fingers and blame each other. You have to find solutions. Okay? How do you... Suppose the state has to be at fault. Let's assume that what you do is you go as a mayor, first of all, you don't play politics. Politics should be over after the elections, okay? The governing should begin. Now you go to a state and say, state, I'm not interested as a mayor for the credit. You take all the credit. But these are our problems. Let the facts and figures and merits of your project do the talking for you. And say, okay, this is what you love, Mr. Abbott, Governor, you love Houston, Lieutenant Governor, you love Houston. All of you love Houston as much as I do or anybody else. These are the projects which needs to be done. You are in control of the money. Take care of these problems and you take all the credit. You negotiate in good faith and you let the merits of your arguments and your project do the convincing and then find a win-win solution.
Okay, my last question, MJ, over here. What makes you special in all the candidates? Just the last question.
Look, I'm a businessman. I have the unique experience of private sector management. I have the expertise of finance, and I have the knowledge of the city because I served on the city council. And my solutions are practical solutions addressing the problem we are facing right now. You look at any other candidate, they're either from legislative side. Legislative experience is not what you need for the city because mayor of the city is the chief executive officer. It's a management position. It has a position which requires financial expertise. It's a leadership position. Okay, that's the combination I bring to the table, which is unique and different from all other candidates. My management is well documented. My leadership is well documented. I was the head of the largest religious organization, Islamic Society, and look how we manage the most diverse community and progressed in many ways in there. So that's what makes me unique. That's what makes me different, and also I'm known as a politician who is really not a politician. I don't play politics. When I was in the city council 6 years, I worked with Mayor Bill White and my council colleagues who had a different persuasion than mine politically. But we worked very well. Look at my district. Look at Bel Air right now, what the work which we did. Even decades after I left, it's booming. Hillcroft and Harvin corridor is booming. Hundreds of businesses came and tens of thousands of people got their job. We got a new police station in Harvin, near Harvin and Hillcroft.
Yes. Yeah.
We got new multi-service center. We got clinics. We got, infrastructure. We clean up the crime. So that's my history. So if you look at the qualification, the expertise and the experience and the management skills, and more importantly, everybody knows that I conduct my affairs in a very ethical manner, honest manner, with the highest ethical standards. That's what you need in any leadership position. And that's what I bring to the table.
Thank you so much, MJ, for giving me time today. Like I always say, whenever I invite candidates in my show, it's very important to understand the importance of your board. And do not go for the partisanship. Go for people you think they would be able to help you and work with you and can bring solutions to the table. Thank you for watching Truth Be Told with me, Sofia Jamal. Have a wonderful day.